What's going on, Pro Cutters? Back with another Pro Cut Pro Tip. So you got a pocket knife and you use it all the time and it's getting dull. What's the best, easiest way for you to sharpen your knife on your own? Well, the best way I found is the Work Sharp knife sharpener. Let's unbox it and show you how to do it. So in your Work Sharp box, you've got your sharpener and you've got your different belts that are different grits. And you've also got, on this piece of cardboard here, a handy guide that tells you what grits do what for sharpening what knife. So let's go ahead and sharpen one. So it is recommended that this be done outdoors, and so I've come outside because you are dealing with a belt sander, sanding metal, so you really don't want this in your house. Okay, and so your unit comes with 5 different belts. You've got your extra coarse, it's a 120 grit. You really don't need that unless your knife is very, very dull. Your next one is a coarse, they're calling it an X65 grit. Then you've got your medium, which is an X22. Then you've got an X4 fine grit. And then from there you've got a 6000 grit extra fine, almost just like a stropping pad. And with this one you're really going to polish out that blade. So to get started, I'm going to start with the coarse X65, just because on my pocket knife I know that one's pretty bad, but once I get to the finer, then I can go ahead and do my kitchen cutlery as well. So on your unit you've got a spring-loaded tensioner, and so you're going to put your belt on the bottom pulley and then squeeze that tensioner so it's up, and then you'll go ahead and get your belt around all the pulleys. Then you can let that tensioner go and you're good to go. And you notice you've got this edge guard here. This is where you set your knife to sharpen it, and I'm going to show you that as well. And you've got a trigger which pulls your unit on, and it's variable speed. And then you've got a dial setting here to where you can lock it. On the other side you've got a lock here, so you can squeeze that trigger and push that button and it'll lock your trigger on, and then you can adjust the speed with this dial. And then to release the lock button, you just pull the trigger in all the way and it'll unlock it. So when you go to start, you're going to pull your knife equal numbers on this side and on this side, because you're wanting to sharpen both sides of the blade. So for their guidelines, your everyday carry, it's dull, so we're going to start with the X120. No, I'm sorry, we're going to start with the X65, and this knife is dull, so we're going to pull it 6 to 10 times on either side. And already she's got a pretty good edge on her already, and it's nice and deburred and cleaned up. So now we're ready to switch to the next belt. So we're going to switch to the X22 belt. So you just lift up your tensioner pulley pull that out, and get your X22 belt, lace it over your pulleys, and you can move that edge guard up like that, and it makes it a little easier to get it on, and then pull it back down. And then this one, they're wanting to go another 6 to 10 pulls on either side. And she's pretty much good to go. With your everyday carry, you really don't need to go any farther than this. You can go to the X4 and to the polishing one, you know, if you just want some bragging rights on who's got the sharpest knife, but other than that, you really don't need to go that far. So I'm going to put this one away, and we can move on to our kitchen cutlery. And I'm going to go ahead and see what 10 strops on the X22 will do. That's pretty good. And same for my chef's knife. And so on your kitchen cutlery, you're going to want that a little sharper. So now we're going to go from the X22 to the X4. Put it on the bottom pulleys first, and then take it up over the top pulley. That seems to be the ticket. And so we're going to go 2 to 8 on the X4.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the same on our paring knife. And we'll go ahead and go to our extra fine. And again, now that I've done it a few times, it's been a while, so I didn't realize it at first, but now that I've done it a few times, go ahead and start by putting it over your bottom pulleys first. And then pull up that slack in that idler and put it over the top pulley. Alright, and so we're going to give about 10 strops with this.
About 10 strops with this.
As you can see, got quite a polished edge on that, and it's like a razor. And we'll go ahead and do our paring knife as well. Oh yeah. That edge is outstanding. So there you have it, sharpening a knife with the Work Sharp knife sharpener. Now it's worth noting that this is the Ken Onion version of the Work Sharp, and so it's got a thicker belt on it than the standard version. Your standard's going to run you about $70, and the Ken Onion version is going to run you about $130. All right, so that's all. Hope you guys learned a little something, and it really is that easy to take care of your own knives. So keep them sharp, because a dull knife is a dangerous knife. Have a great day.